In a village nestled between rolling hills and the great Zambezi lived two young girls, Amara and Chioma. Like twin mangoes on a single branch, they were inseparable. Their laughter echoed through the village, as bright as the morning sun. Amara, with her eyes like the dark earth, was a dreamer. She saw stories in the clouds and heard whispers in the wind. Chioma, quick and nimble, possessed a spirit as fiery as the setting sun. She could climb the tallest trees and outrun any boy in the village. Their favorite place was under the ancient baobab tree, its roots digging deep into the heart of the land. Here the elders would share tales of the ancestors, of brave warriors and wise women, stories that shaped their young hearts. They learned about Ubuntu, the belief that a person is a person through other people. It was a lesson etched in their souls. The baobab, a silent sentinel, watched over them, its massive trunk a testament to time and tradition. They would spend hours crafting little dolls out of clay, dressing them in colorful scraps of cloth, and enacting the stories they heard, each dreaming of the future that awaited them. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Their lives were about to take them to different destinations. From that point onward, the friendship that they had shared since childhood would start to fade away because of the different choices that they made for themselves, and for their future, as young women growing in Africa. Little did they know that the different choices they made would lead to different destinations in their future lives. The year the rains failed to come, a shadow fell upon the village. The fields, once lush and green, turned to dust. The river dwindled to a trickle. Hunger gnawed at their bellies. Amara and Chioma watched as their parents struggled, their faces etched with worry. The joy that once filled the village was replaced by a heavy silence. This was a time when the strength of the community was tested. Every family shared what little they had, embodying the spirit of Ubuntu more than ever. Amara, despite her young age, tried to help by gathering wild berries, her small hands scratched and bleeding. Chioma, ever resourceful, learned to set traps for small animals, her eyes sharp and focused. But even their efforts couldn't quench the thirst of the land. One evening, under the flickering light of a dying fire, their parents made a difficult decision. Chioma, with her quick mind, would be sent to the city to live with her aunt and attend school. It was a chance for a better future, a chance to escape the grip of poverty. Amara, with her gentle heart, would stay behind to help her family tend to the land, hoping for the rains to return. The morning Chioma left was filled with tears. Amara clung to her friend, her small body shaking with sorrow. They exchanged promises, whispered secrets, and swore that nothing would ever break their bond. Chioma, trying to be brave, wiped away her tears and boarded the crowded bus, her eyes fixed on Amara until the dust swallowed her whole. Amara stood there, watching until the bus disappeared over the horizon, a lump in her throat. She felt like a part of her had been torn away. Returning to the village, she felt a profound sense of loneliness, the laughter now replaced by a hollow echo. The baobab stood tall and silent, a witness to their parting. In that moment, Amara knew that life would never be the same. She missed Chioma and hoped that one day they would be reunited once again as women. However, she never knew how long it would take for them to be reunited again in their lifetime. Would it be years or decades? Only time would tell the next chapter of their life and friendship. Chioma arrived in the bustling city, a world away from the quiet village. The air thrummed with the energy of countless lives, the streets a symphony of honking cars and chattering voices. Her aunt, a stern but loving woman, welcomed her into her small apartment, a tiny space crammed between towering buildings. School was a revelation. Chioma, eager to learn, devoured every book, her mind thirsty for knowledge. She excelled in her studies, her sharp intellect shining brightly. But life in the city was also challenging. She missed the simple joys of the village, the warmth of the community, the scent of the earth after the rain. She felt like a seed planted in concrete, struggling to find her roots. She often thought of Amara, wondering if she was well, if the rains had returned, if she still remembered their promise. But the city, with its endless distractions, began to pull her in, its bright lights and promises of success slowly dimming the memories of her past. She had never lived in a fast place like this, and she never thought it would change her so much. Back in the village, Amara worked tirelessly alongside her family. She learned to plow the fields, to plant the seeds, to coax life from the parched earth. The rains eventually returned, bringing with them a renewed sense of hope. But the drought had left its mark, etching lines of hardship on their faces. Amara, however, remained steadfast, her spirit unbroken. She remembered the stories of her ancestors, of their resilience in the face of adversity, and drew strength from their example. She continued to dream, but her dreams were now rooted in the land, in the desire to heal the earth and to bring prosperity back to her village. She often visited the baobab tree, sharing her thoughts and her hopes with the ancient sentinel. She felt its wisdom flowing through her, guiding her path. She was grateful for all of the wisdom that the baobab tree gave to her, as it made her want to continue to grow and be stronger. She never gave up on it. Years passed. Chioma, now a young woman, graduated from university with honors. She secured a prestigious job in a multinational corporation, her ambition driving her forward. She dressed in stylish clothes, frequented upscale restaurants, and moved in circles of power and influence. She had almost forgotten the village, and her friend, Amara. Her life was consumed by the pursuit of success, by the accumulation of wealth and status. Amara, too, had blossomed into a woman of grace and strength. She had become a leader in her community, implementing sustainable farming practices, advocating for education, and empowering women. She lived a simple life, her heart filled with purpose and contentment. She remembered Chioma fondly, but their lives had grown so distant, their paths diverging like two rivers, flowing in opposite directions. Amara still hoped for their reunion one day. One day, a letter arrived in the village, addressed to Amara. It was from Chioma. Amara's heart leapt with joy as she recognized the familiar handwriting. But as she read the words, her smile faded. Chioma wrote of her success, of her luxurious lifestyle. But beneath the surface, Amara sensed a deep unease. Chioma confessed that she felt empty, that the pursuit of wealth had left her hollow. She longed for meaning, for connection, for the simplicity of the village. She was coming back. She wished to come back. The day Chioma returned, the entire village gathered to welcome her. Amara stood at the edge of the crowd, her heart pounding in her chest. When Chioma stepped off the bus, dressed in an expensive suit, she looked out of place, a bird of paradise in a field of sunflowers. But when she saw Amara, her face lit up with genuine joy. They rushed towards each other, embracing tightly, tears streaming down their faces. It was as if no time had passed. The years melted away, and they were once again the two young girls who played under the baobab tree. The village rejoiced at their reunion, their laughter echoing through the hills once more. Everything felt as if it would finally be as it should be again. But the reunion wasn't as seamless as they both hoped. Chioma found it difficult to adjust to the simple life. The lack of city amenities, the slow pace, and the absence of the social circles she was accustomed to, felt alienating. She admired Amara's work and the community spirit but struggled to find her place. Amara, in turn, tried to understand Chioma's experiences, but the world of corporate success and material wealth felt distant and unreal. They found themselves talking at each other rather than with each other, their conversations filled with unspoken judgments and misunderstandings. The initial euphoria of the reunion began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of discomfort. Chioma wondered if she made a mistake in coming back. One evening, under the baobab tree, their frustrations boiled over. Chioma accused Amara of being narrow-minded, of judging her for seeking success. Amara retorted that Chioma had lost touch with her roots, that she had become blinded by greed. Harsh words were exchanged, fueled by years of unspoken resentment and divergent life experiences. The baobab tree seemed to shudder as their voices rose in anger. The spirit of Ubuntu, the very foundation of their friendship, seemed to crumble before their eyes. Their argument echoed through the village, and the rest of the village worried that the two women would no longer be friends. However, what the villagers did not know was that this conflict would soon lead to a resolution to their issue, and the women would become even closer friends. The village elder, Mama Zola, a woman with eyes that held the wisdom of generations, intervened. She reminded them of their shared history, of the promises they made under the baobab tree, of the spirit of Ubuntu that bound them together. She spoke of the importance of understanding, of forgiveness, of embracing their differences. She told them that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the strength of their relationships and the well-being of their community. Her words, spoken with gentle authority, pierced through their anger and touched their hearts. Amara and Chioma, humbled by Mama Zola's words, began to see each other in a new light. They realized that their experiences, though different, had both shaped them into the women they were today. Chioma, drawing on her business acumen, offered to help Amara expand her sustainable farming practices, connecting her with markets in the city and securing funding for community projects. Amara, in turn, helped Chioma reconnect with her roots, teaching her about the importance of preserving their traditions and protecting the environment. They found common ground in their shared desire to make a difference, to use their skills and experiences to uplift their community. Their combined talents were useful and helpful. Chioma initiated a project to build a new school in the village, leveraging her corporate connections to secure funding and resources. She worked alongside Amara, involving the entire community in the construction. The school became a symbol of hope, a testament to their renewed friendship, and a beacon of opportunity for future generations. The children rejoiced, their laughter filling the village with joy once more. Chioma and Amara stood side by side, watching the children play, their hearts filled with gratitude. They now understood that success wasn't just about individual achievement, but about contributing to the well-being of others. Amara and Chioma transformed the village farm into a model of sustainable agriculture. They implemented innovative techniques, using organic fertilizers, water conservation methods, and crop rotation to increase yields and protect the environment. The farm became a source of pride for the community, attracting visitors from neighboring villages who came to learn about their methods. Amara and Chioma shared their knowledge freely, empowering others to adopt sustainable practices. The land flourished, providing food security and economic opportunities for the entire village. They were proud of their farm, and they had plans to keep on working on improving the farm. Chioma used her city connections to establish a cooperative, enabling the villagers to sell their produce directly to urban markets, bypassing exploitative middlemen. This increased their income significantly, empowering them to invest in education, healthcare, and other essential services. She organized workshops to teach the villagers business skills, helping them to manage their finances and negotiate fair prices. The city and the village, once distant and disconnected, were now linked by a thriving trade network, benefiting both communities. Chioma knew that this was very important to continue to work on this project and to continue the relationship between the city and the village. Years later, Amara and Chioma stood under the baobab tree, watching a new generation of children play. Their faces were lined with wisdom and contentment, their eyes reflecting the love and joy that filled their hearts. They had come full circle, their friendship stronger than ever, their lives intertwined with the well-being of their community. They had learned that true success lies not in choosing one path over another, but in finding ways to integrate their experiences and talents to create a better world. They knew that they had made a great decision to continue to be friends with each other and that they would always be there for one another. The story of Amara and Chioma teaches us that the choices we make shape our destinies, but it is the strength of our relationships and the spirit of Ubuntu that define us. It reminds us that success isn't just about individual achievement, but about contributing to the well-being of our community. It shows us that differences can be a source of strength, and that forgiveness and understanding can heal even the deepest wounds. They knew that it was not the easiest situation to go through, but they knew that they would always be together and be there for each other even through the toughest times. As the sun set over the village, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, Amara and Chioma faced their last decision together. A wealthy businessman from the city offered to buy their farm, promising them a fortune. They could retire in luxury, travel the world, and never worry about money again. But selling the farm would mean abandoning their community, severing their connection to the land, and betray. Amara and Chioma looked at each other, their eyes filled with understanding. They knew that the answer lay not in the promise of wealth, but in the love and gratitude of their community. They turned down the offer, choosing to remain in the village, to continue their work, and to uphold the values that had guided them throughout their lives. The businessman, disappointed but respectful, left the village, leaving behind a sense of peace and contentment. Amara and Chioma embraced, their hearts overflowing with joy. They had made the right decision. The decision they had made would keep their friendship alive forever. Under the watchful gaze of the ancient baobab tree, Amara and Chioma lived out their days, surrounded by the love of their community and the beauty of the land. Their story became a legend, passed down from generation to generation, inspiring others to embrace the spirit of Ubuntu, to find strength in their relationships, and to choose purpose over possessions. The baobab stood tall, its roots digging deep into the heart of the land, a symbol of enduring hope, wisdom, and the unbreakable bond between two friends. And so, the tale of Amara and Chioma comes to an end. But what do you think? Did they make the right decision? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more captivating stories from African Folktales by Eri, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time.